Review of the Well MP5 Scope Spring Rifle. The MP5 is a 9mm submachine gun designed in the 1960s by German designers Heckler & Koch. The MP5 is still used today and is one of the most common submachine guns, being adopted by more than 40 nations. The MP5 was designed for law enforcement use, including SWAT teams and counterterrorism units. The MP5 is also used by special forces units. The MP5 is currently used in many SWAT teams throughout the United States and is also used by the U.S. Navy SEALs. The MP5 features a semi and fully automatic trigger group, but can be converted for 3-round burst, as it has been used for 3-round burst for military applications. The MP5 is designed to be compact, yet still have extremely high power, having an extraordinarily high rate of fire. Though it has a high rate of fire, it still only uses the 9mm pistol cartridge, limiting its range and effectiveness. The MP5 is mostly used for close quarters combat. The Well MP5 comes in an extremely simple cardboard box. It's very dull and far from flashy, and it doesn't really tell you anything, just a generic cardboard box. But I guess I can't really complain since it doesn't show. Inside the box are actually quite a bit of stuff, although most of it's junk. The gun is packed in your standard really flaky styrofoam. It gets the job done, but it's really annoying because it flakes everywhere. But it's actually, I found, not to be as bad as some of the other styrofoams. Now, this gun is not to be confused with the other model, which comes with lasers, lights, etc. This just comes with the crap. I'll explain that later. Here you have your instruction manual. It doesn't tell you anything. It just tells you how to load it, common sense, how to attach lasers and stuff. Once again, it does not apply to this, since it does not come with a red dot or laser, or a silencer. It does come with a scope mount. I will explain more later. Comes with a pack of 100, I guess, around 100 bright orange BBs. These BBs are terrible. I can see seams on some of them, and they look extremely rough. So yeah, I would not recommend using these whatsoever. Comes with a stock safety glasses. I have shot these and found them to be surprisingly decent. You can see the small mark there in the BB. Rail mount, once again I'll explain later. Extra rail pieces. Extraordinarily cheap thing. Would not recommend using this for any heavy guns because it will break. Not only that, but it's an extraordinarily short thing, so you really won't be able to put on any larger guns. A screwdriver for screwing in your the screws. Ironically enough, the screwdriver is actually smaller than the screws. It'll screw it in, but it won't be a tight fit. So just use a standard Phillips head. It'll work better. And then you have your screws, bolts, etc. Nuts and bolts. Those will come inside a small plastic bag, but obviously opened it. And of course you get rid of it. Now let me talk more about the scope mount. This scope mount is trash. First of all, let me just say that there's no points that it really attaches to the gun, like there's no notches or anything. So you just sort of have to screw it in and hope for the best. And I tried that, but since there's no notches, it just wobbles around everywhere. So it won't even attach. Now, secondly, something I found even more hilarious. You just see here. These are not standard 14mm rails. Let me just go grab an example so we can compare. I don't know how well you can see this, but here I have a standard scope mount, 14mm. Here is the scope mount it comes with. Yeah, it is way wider than the standard 14mm rails, so it will not fit any of your standard accessories. It'll only fit the red dot it supposedly comes with, but mine did not come with anything. So yeah, this is trash. Comes with these cheap rail panels. Once again, no point whatsoever. Since you can attach them, but the scope mount itself won't even attach. These the rail pieces, although are 14mm. So yeah, basically scope mount is trash. All the extra crap, all trash. Only thing that's worth anything, safety glasses, since they actually work surprisingly. Stock, and obviously the gun. Keep in mind, you will hear me talk very critically about this gun in this review, but it's only $15. So yeah, keep that in mind when I'm talking bad about this gun. Because believe me, there are plenty of things wrong with this gun. So the first thing you probably already noticed is this giant orange flash hydrant. And then you probably noticed that there's glue all around it. It did not come this way. I had to glue it back on. I will explain later. Keep in mind, under normal use, assuming your gun does not break, the flash hider should not come off. The whole gun and the stock are made of very cheap feeling plastic. The gun body flexes a whole bunch, and it creaks. The stock, however, does not creak. Well, I guess it does, but not as much as the guns, and it feels decently durable. It feels pretty solid. Although there is one huge seam running down the entirety of the stock, so that worries me a little bit. Another problem I have with this gun is the finish. The finish feels almost sort of grainy, and I'm not a big fan of it. There are virtually no metal pieces on this gun. The only thing metal on this gun are the two sling mounts on the front and rear. But let's be honest, who's gonna put this gun on a sling? It doesn't even deserve one. This gun is clearly not for skirmish. This gun is just to have fun in your backyard. Not only that, but try putting that cheap sling on, I can guarantee you, it's gonna break. So yeah, as I said, the whole body is made of plastic, very creaky. Although this might only be creaking because I took a screw out, and the screw actually would not come out, so I have to drill through it. So that might be why. Once again, I will explain later. Now on the inside, it does feature a metal barrel. I believe it is aluminum, I cannot confirm. But yeah, that's pretty much the extent of metal pieces on the inside. The piston, the charging handle, everything is plastic. In fact, the material is so cheap that after getting this gun, I got it a month ago, I think. Don't use it in any wars, I don't go to wars. Just been plinking around in my house, barely use it, already broken. I mean, it's still functional, but it's already cracked. And if this whole piece comes off, then your charging handle could come out. So yeah, that is a big worry. Once I get to it, I might super glue or something. Being all plastic, this gun feels very light and feels pretty cheap. This gun is actually lighter than my Nighthawk Custom 1911, even though it is twice the size, if not bigger. But what can you expect? $15, don't expect it. Now onto what it looks. I mean, it may be plastic and it may feel weird, but it doesn't look bad. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Just get this stock on. That doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty tactical, pretty cool. So yeah, just ignore the flash hider, obviously. But yeah, it doesn't look half bad. One thing you've probably noticed, this huge stain here. That's the glue residue from this huge bright white sticker they had to put on about safety. Crap. And the glue wouldn't come off. So yeah, that's always annoying. The trigger pull is actually pretty light and surprisingly smooth. It's actually not that bad. Although, for a spring trigger, you're obviously not going to get anything too great, since there's only so much you can do about a catch. The gun does have a functional safety. Lift this up for safe. Cannot pull the trigger. And I cannot confirm, but I believe on the real gun this would be semi-auto. Full auto. I may have got that flipped around, I'm not sure. But since this gun is spring powered, the gun will shoot on both settings, does not change anything. You can see the safety / selector switch is not ambidextrous. Ambidextrous. Am I saying that right? Ambidextrous. Yeah, I think I am. That sounded weird. But you can tell from the other side what setting it is on, though you cannot change it. The mag release is located between the magazine and the trigger guard. It is this piece. Sorry, so hard to do when holding the camera. Right there. Yeah, it's that piece. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, you just flick that forward and the mag will drop out. I have pretty much forgotten to talk about the mag completely, so let's talk about it. The magazine, just like the rest of the gun, is made of cheap plastic, although it has a glossy finish. Some people wouldn't like this, but I'm sort of weird and I actually really like the glossy finish. It does, however, have a seam running along the entirety of the magazine, which is once again gonna be sort of worrisome. Although since it does not have to hold any gas, and this follower spring is incredibly weak, I don't see it breaking anytime soon. But just be careful not to drop it. The magazine is very simple, you just pull down this tab and load BBs up top. Now this feed lip is worrying me. It's once again made of very cheap plastic, and not only that, but there's a huge seam running along it. But yeah, that's it for the magazine. This gun has a very large grip that may not be too comfortable for smaller hands, but it's better than having a grip that's too small. As I would know since I come from handling Nerf guns. So yeah, it's nice having a slightly larger grip once in a while. Now the sights this gun comes with really are not sights. They look like your standard MP5 sights. You know, you have your nice front post in a hole, whatever it's called. And then you get to your rear sight and you see that there's trouble. This hole was not originally here. You see this peephole? The rear sight was originally a solid block of plastic. It'll just focus here. So I actually had to take a drill to it and drill a hole through there. Now I didn't want to enlarge the hole too much because then it would probably crack the seam completely. But you can see that I can't do it right now. It's hard to do. But you can see I can't do it on the camera, but you can line up the sights and look through them if you drill a hole through. Now, I really don't think this requires a tutorial since literally just drill a hole. Make sure to keep it small though. And surprisingly enough, I just randomly drilled this hole, and it's actually extremely accurate to the site. Or at least the sites that I sort of made. So yeah, that's the first trouble spot. Second trouble spot. If there's a problem with this gun, you can't take it down. You can unscrew everything, but that's, well, who wants to do that on the field? And after unscrewing everything, this screw does not come out. I had to take a drill to it. I had to drill through the actual screw, which is why this is probably creaking at me. And that's also the reason why the orange tip had to come off. To split the gun in half, you actually have to saw the orange tip off, so that you can slide this piece off, so that you can pull the foregrip off, so that you can split the gun in half to get to the internals. I actually had to do this because the gun actually broke on me within the first week. So what happened was I pulled the charging handle back, it gets about here, and then it just let the piston go. So it wasn't catching onto the piston. So I had to take it apart, readjust it, and then now it works fine. But if that happens, just know that it's extremely tedious to fix even an extremely simple problem. And I didn't like rattle it, shake it, or drop it or anything. It just sort of broke. So yeah, that's sort of disappointing. I also noticed that the internals are made of very cheap plastic, so I'm sort of worried about it cracking and breaking. This gun does not shoot very hard, shooting at around 220 FPS with .12 gram BBs, which equates to about, say, 190, 180 with .2s. But it does have a hop up, which makes the beat is not fine-tuned very well, so the BBs curve up really high once you get to past 30 feet. But that can be solved with using heavier BBs. I would recommend using .28s at anywhere farther than 30 feet and anywhere below 60 feet. After you pass 60 feet, you might want to consider going to .25s. That sounds awfully heavy for a gun only shooting 180 FPS. But because of the terrible hop-up, you have to do that to compensate for how heavy it is. But yeah, now onto my final opinion of this gun. This gun looks cool and all. It's good for maybe being a prop, but it's really not meant to be on the airsoft field. I mean, this might be good for just having fun with your friends, backyard wars, or just plinking around in the house, but really, you really shouldn't be taking this on the field. That has been my review of the Well Scope Spring MP5 submachine gun, airsoft, therefore I guess. And thanks for watching. Bye. Are you freaking kidding me? I literally finished filming 2 seconds ago. You see, it's not cocked. It just broke again. You can see when I was talking about how it wouldn't engage the piston. Yeah. I have to take it apart again and rip off the flash hider. Yay. Thanks for watching.